Okay, so I just start off randomly backtesting ES with my indicator. So this is the new update which I haven't released it. For example, here there's so many models actually. I have clicked the plus one star model. It's a positive one star model on MES. Now I will use the replay button, start new, and let's go for a random date. Ooh, maybe March, April, May. Let's go for May 5th. Here I will try to use little discretionary model. Okay, there's a small bug. Let me just fix that. Okay, let me just check the everything is good. Let's go for a backtest then. Just waiting for the indicator to fire signals, and the indicator only fire signal in these time windows. For example, 18 to 21. There's so many windows. Why? I will just disable the magic window for now. Or let it be on. Why? Because these are high probability windows from the backtest, right? So 5th of May, there's no signal yet. So let's just wait. That was one buy, and then the take profit was also hit. So beautiful. So let me just enter one win, right? So we could have entered there. There is also confluence of the fair value gap on the 5-minute chart. Now, this is the mechanical model, but if you want even higher win rate, what you can do is add a little bit of discretionary bias. What do you mean by discretionary bias? A little bit of manual technical analysis, right? For example, let me use the bar replay button here, right? And go to exactly where the signal was fired. Here the signal was fired, and we would have gotten the long there. Stop loss it's saying there. For example, if you would have put technically a little bit more as well. Anyway, and the TP was here. So it was close to 1.3 hour, which is really good. But what do you mean by discretionary bias is just for the 5 minutes, just go to 1 hour. Hopefully my mic is working. Yeah, my God. Yeah. See, this is what I mean by discretionary bias. So market is in the from the pure technical local market structure, it's kind of in the breaking structure. However, when you look at the overall trend, market is expanding and then retracing. Retracing where 1 hour fair value gap here. 1 hour fair value gap, it also this is a classic support and resistance, right? And when the classic support and resistance inside the 1 hour gap, it's obviously the high probable and we got the support there, but it doesn't matter, forget that. So my point is 1 hour is bullish. And now the liquidity here also we flip this fair value gap as well. And we are yet to take this liquidity, right? All these liquidities, look at that. So clean liquidity, right? So you could literally target these take profit levels. And this signal is the A plus Y because our higher time frame, which is the 1 hour, is also bullish. So this trade I will take all day long, right? Now we'll go to 5 minute time frame. I can literally target this liquidity level, which would make 1.3 to 1.5 hours. Now I let the trade play. Boom, take profit has been hit, right? And if you go to 1 hour chart, what you can actually do is there's more liquidity. This is like clean, right? So you could literally target that, go to 5 minute again, and book 80% partials here, move the stop loss to break even. Now you're targeting more, right? Close to 2 hours. So this is how I actually personally execute on my accounts because I got the confidence of my technical knowledge, technical analysis that is, and also signal also fired by. Beautiful. So 1-0 today for 5th of May. Now let go. Let's see what else we got get here. Okay, it is too much speed already, and there was another buy. Again, boom, take profit has been hit. So let me go to there as well. Select the bar, and we got the signal here. There was a buy signal, and Where is the long tool? We could have maybe got somewhere there, right? Stop loss here, TP there. This is close to 2 hour, which is really good, right? It's one of the advantage of this indicator. Anyway, 1 hour. Again, this high we could have easily targeted, right? However, we will book the profits in this high, and then we can let it run, right? 5 minute time frame. Boom, TP being hit, 2-0. So that's close to over 3 hours, right? Again, I have selected the model 1+1. So you can always take maximum profits at the 1 hour and let it ride or do anything you want, quite literally. So 2 trades, 2 wins. Now I will decrease the speed here. Again, it's showing the stop loss and the take profit levels. Again, even the stop loss level, if you have technical knowledge, you can literally adjust the stop loss as well. For example, if the structure low was here, you could have put it here. You could capture the more, or this is not a great example, but hopefully you got my point. Oh, that was, oh my God, that was so good, right? And obviously these are clear liquidity, right? On the 5 minute chart. So you could have targeted there and select the bar. We got the bicycle there on the 5 minute chart, right? So long, stop loss, and take profit here. And then let me go to 1 hour chart again. What's the 1 hour? Again, clear liquidity, right? And also market is literally looking very bullish. So you could even target a little bit more, but take maximum profit there. I expect market to go even more higher easily, right? So let's see what happens on the 5 minute chart. Boom, look at that, right? So 3 wins. Hmm. Here, if I caught the signal, I would be a little careful because it's a consolidation, but anyways. There was a loss there, which is fine. Select bar. Right, I would have long. Stop loss. Take profit. Let me go to 1 hour again. Here, if you actually look at it, even though market is bullish, we are actually liquidity sweeping on the 1 hour. So this was not like perfectly A plus yet. So I could have either de-risked this going with the less size or completely ignore this trade altogether, right? And that liquidity sweep was clean. That's why we got the loss as well, right? So we could have ignored that deal or risk less. But for the backtesting purpose, I will put on one loss, right? Look at that displacement candle. So I expect market to come a little even more down actually. And for sure, there you go. Let's wait for another signal now. But before that, let me remove all my drawings. Again, each windows is showing how much stop loss and TP. It is not, it is more like based on the backtesting results, right? Based on the historical finding studies. Again, consolidation. This could be manipulation, and then the expansion to the higher or down. So, okay, it's going up. Finally, we're on the 6th May. We already got the 4 signals with plus 3 are already. Okay, here there was multiple signal. Let me just pause. Okay, select for this was the first signal, right? Buy. Again, there was a clean liquidity. I would have taken this long. And let me go to 1 hour. I expect market to at least test this, if not this high. So going at the 5-minute chart, I would have taken this long. And my eventual take profit could have been this. But I would have taken the maximum position at this take profit level because the indicator said so, and move the stop loss to break even. As simple as that. Now let's see what happens. We are in the buy, remember. There's a sell signal. I wouldn't have taken that because we are already in the buy. Another buy. So I'll take that buy. Maybe add positions there. Stop loss below this low would be nice. Let's see what happens. Boom. Both the take profit has been hit. So 2 more wins. I ignored this sell because we're already in the position. And also liquidity was yet to be swept, right? So 2 more wins there. There was another signal. Let me remove all the drawings. And long here, stop loss here, right? Now let me go to 1 hour chart and how the 1 hour is looking. Again, 1 hour, if you look at, there was a clear displacement, meaning this could be a potential order block where market could again to test and potentially come down to all this liquidity, right? So this is a lower probability setup. And there was an unfilled gap, unmitigated gap, that is on this low. So market could very well come down, if not these lows. So it's a low probability setup. So this, again, I could have ignored that or go with the less risk. I would have ignored that. But for the backtesting purpose, I will take this loss. If we hit the stop loss, that is, which looks very likely. Boom, right? So one more loss from the strict mechanical point of view. So 5 wins and 2 loss, right? 1, 2, 3 wins. 1, 2 wins. Anyways, maybe I missed another win there. Who cares? Anyway, that sell was again beautiful. We were already bearish, right? And looking at the 1 hour chart, what did I tell? There was an unmitigated gap there, and it would likely to come there if you remember, right? So that sell would have been a A plus setup for me. That sell would have been proper A plus setup. Sell, stop loss here, and the take profit here. However, I would have taken maybe 60 or 70% portion and let the target the unmitigated gap I mentioned just previously. So one more win there. This was again A plus for the reason I mentioned, right? And even in the 5-minute chart, there was a couple of fair value gap as well, or imbalance. And we just explain why it is a A plus setup. Sell signal, there was an unmitigated gap on the 1 hour, right? Look at 1 hour, clear order block. And testing that order block, something I mentioned previously, easily coming there, right? So this is like a double plus in my opinion. boom, right? So one more win there. Let me remove all the drawings there. I don't like this sharpness, but that pie was lovely, right? Because we mitigated the 1 hour gap and we're taking support from there. If you go to 1 hour, we're literally getting support from this order block region and also this unmitigated gap, right? So that was the A plus setup again. Let me go there, select the bar. That was the buy. And where is the long setup? And the indicator is saying stop loss there. So it's just a little down because there was a that looked like a 1 hour weakness candle as well. I could have targeted here as well, right? That would be my second take profit. This high looks so tempting. Look at the 1 hour. Yes, this looks so tempting, right? But our majority of the profit will be that this high. So let me go to 5 minute. Boom, take profit hit. Stop loss to break even. Now I can target this high. Let's see what happens. Boom, hit. See, you can capture so much RR here. Easily close to 2R. Right? So another win there. So 7 wins, 2 loss in just 2 days. Right? And 2 days we are up 5R. Before that, let me again remove all my drawings. Again, I'm not using even the daily bias. If you could combine the daily bias, that would be even great, right? But anyways, I'm sticking to the basics now. Definitely looking bullish for at least to tap these highs. Boom, tap this high. Buy. Boom, take profit hit. Let me go to the signal. Let me update the stat. Long. Take profit. Close to 1.3 hour again. Let me go to 1 hour. How the 1 hour is looking. Here I would stick to indicator as take profit level. Why? Because technically we're testing this 1 hour gap, right? So technically we're in the resistance. I wouldn't target this high, even though this looks likely, but we are in the resistance. So also if you measure the Fibonacci from this swing high to this low, we are close to the premium as well. So here what I will do is go to 5 minute. So stick to what the indicator is saying. Boom, take profit has been hit. See, because of the 1 hour gap, the market is doing the pullback. Okay. Good to see we're coming this high. However, we need to stick to the technical analysis where there was a 1 hour resistance. Boom, take profit hit again. For this, I could have tapped this high because we already seems to flip the 1 hour gap, right? Look at that. We already inverse the 1 hour gap here. So here I could have easily targeted this high and captured even better RR, right? So again, this is not like rocket science. I will explain these concepts: liquidity, imbalance, interrange liquidity, everything in the under the wall section, that is. So let me go to 5 minute, right? stop loss. I would have also stop loss this low and target this take profit level, which is 2R. However, at the indicator, I would have captured the book the profits and move the stop loss to break even. Let me show. TP has been hit. Here it has been clearly hit. Now I will move to break even. Now let's see what happens. Boom, we didn't got stop loss, but we booked all the profits here. Now whatever is saying here, 8 wins to R is up 6R, right? However, we are capturing more, so we are even more up here. Let me remove all the drawings. Okay, let's see what happens on this spike. We got this stopped out. Let me update that to loss and go to 1 hour. And how was our bias and was this alien A press setup? This was a decent setup because there was a liquidity here. However, we did have a swing failure pattern here. So this whole area could have been a potential order block. And what I would expect from the 1 hour chart to tap here, right? And come and fill that gap here, right? So this was more like a B setup, B plus setup, but backtesting is backtesting, and I'm just lodging every loss here. So this would have been a stop loss, which I have already updated. So what exactly happened, whatever I showed on the H1 chart. But anyway, I don't like this price action. Too much choppiness. Sell. Let me go to the 1 hour chart now. We had the sell there, right? Go to 1 hour chart. Again, we are having a local sweep here. So if I were to take this setup, sell on the 5-minute, I would have put the stop loss above this high, which is this. Right? So let me go to 5-minute. This is where I wouldn't trust the indicator fully. What I will do here is sell TP and put the stop loss above there. Right? And at the 1 hour, I would have taken the partial, which is at this low. Right? Let me see what happens. Boom. See, we didn't tap the high at all. And we completely booked this out. So this is, if you have used the discretion, this would have been a win, or else it would have been a loss if you just plainly follow the mechanical system. No surprise there. It was the support going up. Now this is the magic window. Okay. So this is over so many years of data actually, which I will be sharing in the PDF. So if the signal had produced there, this has like a really high probability. You could have even target, like let's say there was some cell there, you can target close to 2R, because all the signals provided in this key window, right, on especially on Monday, has 78% win rate, 82R. But the value, this doesn't happen always, right? That's why it's a magic window. Easily we could have targeted here because it's clear liquidity and boom, right? This is so visible. We got a short there. Stop indicator stop loss is here. I would have put just above and target here at almost close to 2 hour, right? 1.9 hour and book 31 hour. So another win there. Boom, another win. Let me see what's happening on the H1 chart there. We have a clean sell. Look at the 1 hour. The clean liquidity is here, right? And we're also testing the 1 hour resistance here. Small cap in the outer block. So this was like a clean setup. And let me go to 5 minute. Right. This is I would have little adjusted the stop loss to above and targeted this final take profit. Again, I would have booked some partial SSD 1.5 hour, 1 hour, whatever the case may be. Here we could have captured close to 3 hour eventually if you had the little technical knowledge, right? Which is not hard to get. Let's see whether it's actually take this low. Boom. No surprise there. Another win. Remove 3 drawings. Again, even going with the indicator, it's worked out really, really well. Buy, buy, another buy. Take profit has been hit on this buy. So that was the one win. But let's just dissect what happened there, right? Here's a 1 hour gap. I would have put the stop loss below this fair value capital imbalance. At least at the EQ of it, right? Long. Go to 5 minute. So the indicator is saying there because we have a 1 hour gap, we could have adjusted the stop loss here and target this TP level. Let's see what happens. Boom, TP has been hit. Other TP hit, other TP hit. That's 3 wins there. 1, 2, 3. Remove 2 drawings. That's it, and I will test one more signal and I will just wrap this session. It's just to show the new update and how to use little discretionary. And obviously, even if you go with the hard stop loss and take profit levels, which the indicator gives, is still easily would be over close to 80% win rate on this session at least. There was a buy there, take profit has been hit. So in this session, we had 16 signals where 4 hit the stop loss, right? 3 hit the stop loss, and 16 minus 3, it's not the 13 hour because we captured more, or there was 1.3, we captured close to 2.1 or mix of horror, right? So it was like crazy profitable. And again, if you just use the 1 hour, it is really, really good. For example, just look at that high, right? It's really good. Anyways.